Hey team, this is Ripper here. Hope you guys are doing great. Got a quick video of a ranked game from a while back here with the Pommern, and the title of the video is Why I Love Secondary Battleships and Tactics and Procedures Around It. So, hope you're doing great. Here's the build on the screen. Enjoy it. Take pictures of whatever you like to do. This is kind of the style I like to build. This is also an IFHE build, which means that the Pommern is going to penetrate as much armor as it can, because initially guns only penetrate about 30 millimeters. I wanted to go beyond 32, so that's why I have IFHE. Hey guys, love the support. If you want to support us, get into 200 subscribers, go ahead and hit like and subscribe. If you love to support us, comment and help us out, get the channel going. And we really appreciate those of our support and hope you like the videos. And here we go. So Pommern, it was released a while back, I believe, for the Dockyard event. One of the first dockyard ships that came out after Puerto Rico and so forth. And honestly, I think it's one of the best. Some people have said the ZF6 of the German line has been great. I think the Pommern has been really great when they released it and built it. I believe it's really one of the best battleships out there. The only problem with it is it cannot tank damage like you would want it to. I mean, it's not like an Ohio or you know, one of the American line battleships. It's like a German battleship that just loves to burn. I'm sorry to say. Maybe it's just the way I built it for secondaries that it doesn't allow it to be a tanking battleship, if you will, the tank build, because you have to sacrifice so much in order for you to put these guns to maximum efficiency. So that's one of the downsides I was thinking of it. But honestly, the greatest thing about this ship is really the guns, the secondary, the torpedoes, just the versatility that you're able to employ with it. And you'll see a lot of the tactics and procedures I do here to show you the capabilities of what the Pommern is, how to maximize it. You could definitely comment, and you know, I love listening to different people's perspectives on how to do things. A lot of these tactics for me, just watching people play. I mean, the best thing you learn is through simulation, and I learned just by watching people. I mean, right here is an example of aim at the waterline and fire. That's the first thing I learned, is how do you get citadels? How do you get hits on battleship from long distance? And how do you get those major big hitters? These are the majority of the time, just aim at the center line and keep firing. Look, I already got 13.8 thousand damage just by doing that little tactic right there of using my crosshairs, putting the line on the water line of the ship and firing. And I have 12 guns. Another great thing about the Pommern, in the Tier 9 group, it's really one of the few ships to shoot 12 guns that are about 380 plus millimeter, but really hard hitting guns for this class. And it's really, really good and effective. It's got hydro. Hydro is really good for detecting ships within 6 kilometers or detecting what you're seeing in front of me here, torpedoes. Now, obviously, I'm not using it yet because I had my destroyer spot them for me. So using your team to your best advantage helps out a lot. Aiming out the water line again, firing and seeing what we get. Kaboom! Ooh, look at that, 12,000 plus damage there. And now we are in secondary range. So I always look for my yellow circle on the right there in the mini-map, 12, which is the range, which is really good for Germans. They get that extra buff right there and also the firing. And I knew the new patch coming out, 10.7, the German secondaries are going to get even better, ladies and gentlemen. I can't wait for it. And it's situations like this that I love. So what I do is I notice that the Iowa is moving forward towards me. So therefore, I'm going to slow down, kite away, and maximize and angle away. First thing is angling away against battleships. So I know that that's a tactic that, shells don't penetrate you well at angles rather than full 90-degree broadside, and that's what you want to do. So now that I'm angled and not showing broadside, which is that 90 degrees, like I was telling you, see, I minimize the damage as best I can so that you don't take a full broadside and get a citadel, which could take up to 15, 20,000 damage maybe. And I'm just backing up into it. And I'm basically using my capabilities of range, because I know the Iowa, knowing your enemy, I know the Iowa secondaries cannot reach me. So I'm just basically going to keep him in my secondary range, start fires, do whatever I can, penetrate his 32 millimeter armor, and just go to town. The Lightning right now, obviously the priority is destroyers first, cruisers, and battleships, because you want to take out as many destroyers as possible initially in the game. That gives you an advantage, a tactical advantage of spotting, as well as the ability to have somebody that can launch torpedoes at a big battleship later on in the game. That's why I don't really focus on the battleships first. I always try to go for the destroyers. So any chance I get, I'm going to try to secondary priority target a destroyer and try to kill them, even with my 12 guns. I mean, 12 big guns on this thing can take out a destroyer. Just don't forget that. fire started on the Iowa right now. We are up to about 80 hits on the secondaries. Once I get to 100 hits on the secondaries, Lucians, the commander I have, will then have a perk that basically will speed up my fire rate on the secondaries, and I think I'm potentially could hit it here in the next few shots. Fire another salvo of 12 shells right there from the main guns, and there it is, secondary battery reload, that activated, and now we have faster firing secondaries. But unfortunately, he's out of range, so this is where I elect to disengage. You have to know when you need to disengage and when to pick your battles, because sticking in a battle you know you cannot win is just wasting a teammate, a life, and the ability to win the match. So what I'm going to do is I'm using this island to block a broadside shot, so I'm going to hopefully get undetected here. But that destroyer is to my left, so I know that the lightning is right there. There he is. He's the one spotting me, so I know exactly where he is at all times. Aim at the guns in front. He's slowing down because of the smoke, so I just aim just slightly in front of him, and boom! Look at that. Took about 4,000 or 5,000 damage for a destroyer. That's a lot. That's almost a quarter of the health right there. And we are basically going to bum rush the lightning. Remember, what did I say about priorities? Destroyers, cruisers, and battleships. Of course, that is just a basic rule or basic starting point. Everything in battle depends upon the situation. You know, my instructors always said, hey, well, when does this happen? It said, the answer is always, it depends. Yeah, and it depends. But I always try to aim for destroyers first, because in the end, they are the ones that can outspot you and torpedo you, and they go faster and win the game. So right there, there are the torpedoes. I totally missed one right there. That's why I saved the damage con for these situations so I don't get flood. I know he has to reload now his torpedoes, probably another 50 seconds potentially here. So I'm basically going to, look at those secondaries firing even faster now. I'm going to keep my guns trained on this destroyer. I know he's got to pop out somewhere, either that, but then he's capping B, so I know he's probably behind. Yep, there's the torpedoes there. So I definitely know that he is capping the B point. So what we're going to do right now, actually I think that's the it could be a Fletcher or another destroyer. So we have 3 destroyers still against us, so I have the potential of having 2 destroyers against me, so I got to go full speed and turn the hydro on in a minute here to detect torpedoes coming my way as early as possible so I can take the appropriate course of action. I'm going to heal right away, right there. I'm going to heal right there, get as much health as I can back to survive this next onslaught. Poor angling on my part, 5,800. That's not too bad. It's better than a Citadel. And here's the secondaries going off again. That's why I love secondaries. They're firing on both sides now, which is great. But man, I need to priority target something here. And now we're going to get Iowa, hopefully aiming at the back, and the superstructure of the cell. Hopefully the shells go in the superstructure. Nope, not so good. The dispersion on the Pommern is not the greatest. I'm just letting you know it's like a shotgun blast. So just keep that in mind. I think the germlines are pretty similar along that for the battleships. So we're going to keep our secondaries keeping angling in. So we're just basically zigzagging towards the Iowa, maintaining maximum angling against him while having secondaries firing from both sides to keep starting fires into him and penetrating his armor. Hopefully this is the right one to land in the superstructure. Boom! Whammy kablammy, he is out of the gimme, and now we can focus on capping C and prioritizing the destroyers. Ooh, looks like we have a Fletcher who is also firing at us in the open water gunboating. Something I probably would not want to do, but since they have to do this to win the game, I think I can see how desperate they are. So what we're going to do is priority target the Fletcher, and let's watch these secondaries go to action with their full capabilities. We have AR kicking in with our health being so low. We have Lucian's perk activated, and just look at the rain of shells that he has to drive through on top of my 12 guns that are swinging over to him right now. So we got about another few seconds before they all reload, and we're going to take a nice sweet shot at him. Notice how I use the aim line bar, the horizon bar there, to keep alignment with his ship to know where he's going. So as the guns are swinging right there, I know I'll keep about 4-second travel time. I just double that, hit 8, and I just aim right about there and fire another one. And boom, we get about 3 or 4 shells right there, and that is how she wrote. So hope you guys liked the video right there. Fun game with the Pommern. Secondaries are coming back. Support us on our way to 200 subscribers. Really appreciate everything you guys do, and hope you enjoyed the video. We're on our way. Thanks again for all you guys watching, and I hope you'll see you guys soon. Cheers.